because as it is right now, if you guys were to disappear tomorrow or do what you did with Obscure, right, we're left with tens of thousands of dollars of nice orange plastic because your software is extremely locked down. I can personally attest to, unfortunately. And there is no way for us to utilize it without you.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Moliminous. Welcome to my video. And you know, I don't upload often on this channel, but I wanted to go ahead and bring you guys something. If you guys don't remember, I had a call with Xsens just a little bit ago. Now that video has comparatively exceedingly low views compared to anything else that I put out, even past retiring. But that being said, it got to people who it should have gotten to, which is a small but important group of individuals, indie creators who love to make stuff. Love 3D animation and games and movies and TV and making all of the content that you consume here on YouTube that isn't corporate slop, you know? If you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, a lot of your favorite content creators that are like 3D Vtubers, which is probably the most popular form that you'll understand this in, use various motion capture suits. If they're worth their salt, they're using Xsens. It's the best in the game. It has magnetic immunity, which means we don't have to put the computers in like completely separate rooms or worry about HVAC systems messing up with everything and the tracking. And it just kind of works the best. Unfortunately, those suits started off really expensive and they've become more affordable, hovering around the $4,000 to $7,000 range. However, it also costs $4,000 to $7,000 a year to actually utilize them because Xsens locks all of their stuff behind a paywall. It is a subscription-based service to use the hardware that you've already paid for and you've paid thousands for. They've since tried a copyright claim, or privacy strike rather, one of my videos in which I had a recorded call with them despite them agreeing to do so. In which that call, they pretty much said, "Lo, we don't really care. You expect us to starve. How can we ever make a reasonable and affordable product for our end consumers? Like, what? You're saying you guys don't make $750,000 a year? Come on, brokies." To which I took personally. Now, MVN uses a lot of third-party tools, one of them being Ogre 3D, which is kind of like a rendering / game engine, and that's what they use to display what the preview of your animations are going to look like while you're in the suit. Now, this is an open source tool, and because of that, I can kind of modify it. In fact, it's within their terms of service and the legal documentation is such underneath the licensing provision that the end user has to be able to modify it. So because of that, after I figured out the versions of Ogre and whatnot that they're using, I developed a plugin that allows us to go ahead and stream that data into Unity. It's not perfect, and if you're watching this from the itch.io page, or you're watching this on YouTube to figure out what it looks like, yeah, it's not perfect right now. This is in beta. It is paid for, but you are essentially buying into it while I'm still working on it. Right now, all it does is stream the data live into Unity 3D. I hope to start outsourcing this to going into Maya and Blender and all kinds of other stuff. But for right now, this is pretty much a completely vanilla version of MVN. All you have to do is drop the plugin into your plugins folder. You are going to modify your Ogre plugins.config. So it's going to be right here. You're going to go ahead and modify this to have the plugin biped streamer plugin so that it loads it. And once you have that, you're also going to want to make sure that you right click your exe here. And for reference, we are on MVN 2024.2. This will work for just about every version until you start getting, I think, below like the 2017s. It could work maybe further, but it just depends. It depends on which version of Ogre they're using in those older series. But you're going to want to go to compatibility, run this program as administrator. Once you do that, you'll just double click. It will automatically work as administrator. You don't necessarily have to do this if your folder you just have the right access to. But you have to do this just so they can load the text file, which is essentially just telling you, hey, this is loaded. This is working. It's also what I use to debug, which is why I just left it in there instead of commenting it out. So, for right now, you can see that I am just on the record. I have no license to live stream. We do not have the window that pops up or the ability to use any of the live streaming or exporting features. And you can see I just went ahead and did that one, but we're actually not going to use that one here. You can see it loaded my little text file, and that's just what I use for debugging. But it also lets you know whenever you're connected and whatnot. So it's creating the socket at your local point. And right now, we are listening for the frames. And then you can see it's going to find it. You can then go ahead and go into Unity. And this is where some of the weirdness kind of happens, which is what the GUI that I'm developing for this is going to come into play. Sometimes it just works. Sometimes you got to finagle it. You got to finesse it a little bit. Okay, you got to massage it just a little bit. You can see right now, it's dang near perfect, but this left toe is wrong. There's usually two bones that are wrong. There might only be one here, but there's usually two whenever there's an issue like this, but it looks like there's only one. And again, you can see that I'm just on the record license, so I don't have anything special. But you can see it is translating everything in real time. Now, how do you fix this while this bug is still an issue? Very crudely. This is how you fix it. You brute force it, okay? That's how you fix it. We refresh it. Now in the GUI right now, you'll be able to do that I'm developing. This will probably be out like the next couple of days. So the next version of the beta will already be out. But I already said I would put this out on Saturday. So I'm just recording this now in hopes that I can go ahead and get this out and then start working on it even more. So how do you fix it? Just close, open, and there you go. Now, sometimes you'll have to do that 1, 2, or 3 times. And in the GUI, you'll just essentially have a toggle to start the frame listener, or the streamer rather. Now, keep in mind, this is beta. You are speccing into a beta build. We only right now stream straight to Unity. That's all we do. From Unity, you can choose to go ahead and record and export as FBX, or you can just go full VTuber. All we're trying to do is give you guys options. And yes, it does cost money. It's about $100 is the asking price, which is literally the price that I told them I would pay monthly. But this is a one-time fee. Right now, if you use this without the fingers, it gets a little wonky. The hands will be stuck in kind of like this downward position, and it just won't look as good. Now, if you're using this without hands, you can try to do what I used to do, which is use Rococo gloves instead of the Manus XR or VR gloves or whatever they're called now. And you can use that for finger tracking, because they're comparatively a lot cheaper than the 3,000, 2,000, etc. Manus gloves. But I do recommend for right now, you just use the gloves if you want to use this for live production. If you're trying to just use this for animation, you can go ahead and do so, but the hands will be like this. The feet right now are a little bit off, but I think that's actually just because we need to reset it. Typically, it's pretty straight on. But yeah, once it's set, also, it's typically good. So there's not really a lot of desync issues after it's set. But you can see again, the hands are in the upward position. And that's probably because I essentially send little nodes that say, hey, if you're not getting the tracking for this, here is an identity essentially for what position you should just kind of stay at. And so I think that's just messing up the wrist. Again, beta. All right, so expect some small glitches and some issues. But by and large, this is a lot better than paying $3,000 to $4,000. All right. It's a lot better. You'll also need my version of the MVN scene. This is also on 2021, but this should work on pretty much every version of Unity, minus maybe 6,000. There are just some issues with their file structure, and I believe Unity changed file structures later on. But yeah, that's all there really is to it. It's that simple. If you find any issues, we'll try to address them. But like I said, this is beta. We're working on a bunch of other features, and this is just to kind of get it out. As always, guys, I love your beautiful face. I hope you at least like my video, and I will see you guys in the next one.